Hello. Now, videos have been a bit sparse recently, technical issues, but anyway, we're back today with a good question from a guy, Aaron. Aaron plays county level GAA, which is Irish Gaelic Gaelic football. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with, change that camera a little bit. That's better. I don't know if you're familiar with GAA. If you're outside of Ireland, you're maybe not, but it is a hard game. And these are hard men and women who play it. Tough game. Great sport. Beats the pants off soccer. Anyway, before we get into that, what Aaron was asking, he also trains people. I'm having problems today. Here we go. He also trains people, and he gets contacted by other teams to help with their fitness training, which is perfect. We need more fitness coaches, good fitness coaches, qualified fitness coaches in the GAA sphere. It's happening, just not quickly enough. A lot of sports, especially with long histories, they do get tied into this idea that lifting weights makes you slow and inflexible, which if you look at, well, the Olympics are coming up. All these top level sports, in fact, all big international sports have strength conditioning as part of their training. Is it all good strength conditioning? Well, that's debatable, but they all have it. The Gaelic amateur athletics, no, the Gaelic, the GAA as an association, at the county level has strength conditioning, but at the local level, especially in the smaller communities, not so much. Even here in Dungannon, where I do help out some of the lads, I've heard some of the older coaches say that even hill sprints makes the players stiff and slower, which it's old thinking, it's uneducated, inexperienced thinking, and it does need to change more than it already is. So, what did Aaron ask? He's working with a small team, from a small area in it's a 2.5, 3 hour drive away. So he only gets out to them on occasion, and he's wondering what to do with them as they don't have a facility. They have a little shed to store stuff in, and that's it. They don't have a gym per se. They don't even have a large shed that they can repurpose as a gym. So this threw Aaron a little bit. He's a fairly modern, he's a youngish lad, so he's trained up in fairly modern methods of strength conditioning, which is fantastic. But what he doesn't have is the value that comes with the old fashioned, old school methods of training that the combat sports, the martial arts have always done. The boxing, the wrestling, the karates, the whatever. We grew up with, I'm an old karate man, we grew up with minimalistic, basic training. And do you know what I want to do just quickly? I want to hold this up. This is the Encyclopedia of Underground Strength Conditioning by Zach Evanesh. I've known Zach through the internet for forever. And I gotta say, it's a fantastic book. I only bought this recently, that's why it looks brand new. I've followed Zach's work for a good 15 years or so. And he is a wrestler, trains wrestlers. Him and gone. Ross Enemy, that's what I was thinking of. Ross doesn't have a book. I do. Ross does have books. The name escapes me. Ross and Zach are two people you should be buying all their books. Yes, Ross is a boxing coach. He's currently training Katie Taylor. Since she turned professional, she hired Ross as her coach, and look how well she's doing. Amazing. Zach is mostly wrestling. They came up through the old school style of training, as did I, where we grew up in halls where there's nothing. We've got floor. We might have a few bits of equipment. You've got punch bags maybe that you can throw around. But we grew up with nothing. We didn't have barbell. Well, if we had a barbell, it certainly didn't have rotating collars, and it more than likely had metal plates. So there's no dropping them, especially onto the hard floors. In fact, when I first learned to power clean, it was exactly that. It was a bar with no spinning collars, and on a wooden floor, metal plates. Yeah, you don't fuck up. The first time I lifted a barbell with spinning collars, I nearly fell over. It was so much easier. It came up so fast, it nearly knocked me over. It was unbelievable. But this is what we did. So if you look at old school style training, you see lads doing calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, rope climbs, sprints, jumps, lunges, hops, crawling patterns, rolling, tumbling. Old school sort of gymnastic calisthenic exercises. For additional load, you'd use self-resisted, as in isometric type work. You'd use partner-resisted work. So you know, fireman's carry your buddy, piggyback your buddy. You might have somebody doing, walking on the hands with somebody holding your feet up, like a wheelbarrow race type of idea, just not the race. You can do inverted rows hanging onto your partner. Your partner can be sort of in a bent over row deadlift position, holding you, and you do your inverted rows, or even he uses you for bent over rows. Partner resisted sprints, where they hold a belt around your waist as you sprint. He gives you adequate resistance. He's not holding you back, but he's slowing you down a little bit, so you have to work harder. All this stuff is not new. This is stuff that we used to do. Some of it's making a comeback. It's in Zach's book. It's in Ross NMH's work. It's in my work. Look back through my old blogs. I've ebooks available on the WG Fit Welge's Fitness Training site. So if you're moving from a fighter's conditioning to an athlete's, a field sport athlete's conditioning, is it that much different? Honestly, no. There's probably going to be more an emphasis on sprinting foot speed than a boxer wrestler might have. All right. And that's fine. So all you do is start out with a nice warm up, body weight, animal type movements, various stretching movements. Look up my 100 rep warm ups, which are on this YouTube channel. There's a playlist down below of warm up ideas. Use them. Yeah, they're amazing for getting the body moving loosey goosey. Then go into some plyometrics, then go into some sprints, then go into some calisthenics and partner resisted drills. Job's a good one. It's like the old Rocky IV movie. Stallone with his minimalistic training, carrying logs up the side of the mountain in the snow, and you've got the Dolph Lundgren character, Ivan Drago, in this super modern gym where everything's micromanaged and there's tracking all the numbers. The numbers are more important than the athlete almost. That movie is a bit of a, it's a cliche, but it's relevant. We have moved very much into over-analysis, where the numbers become more meaningful than the individual athlete, and I despise that. I'm not a numbers guy anyway, never have been. I'm an effort guy. I'm an attitude guy. You come in with the right attitude and you put in the effort, results will happen. It's not just about numbers. Yeah, okay, the numbers can protect the athlete, but then they can also overprotect. They can ignore the athlete to a degree, ignore the athlete's individual nuances. So what the point of Rocky 4 was, that the individual athlete working against the elements with minimalistic kit has to be creative, has to work in imperfect circumstances, has to adapt, has to train spirit, heart, rather than just simply output on a machine, on a computer. And this is what I think is missing in a lot of modern programming and a lot of modern players. We're missing that heart, just that grit, that grittiness, that dirt under the fingernails. You know, the calluses that you build from, I mean, rubbing my hands here, calluses, they're from barbells and kettlebells, but you can think of it as a mental calluses, spiritual calluses, calluses just built into you as a form of grit. I've never met people who would push themselves to overtraining, through overtraining, even out the other side, as I have karate people. They're just, to just train that blinkered spirit. Wrestlers are probably the same. They're insane as well. The way I used to train was nuts. But it builds a toughness, a self-belief, a no-quit attitude, which is what you want. Do you know what I mean? When the chips are down in the last quarter of a match, and you can see players losing heart, you've lost that match. You want to build a no-quit into the team. And I'll tell you what, doing lunges up and down the field with your mate on your back when it's raining and the floor's slippery and this, that, and the bloody other, just doing farmers' walks, filling some sandbags and shouldering them, out on the pitch, and it's windy and it's wet, and and the only reason you keep going is because your buddy's there and he's keeping going, and your buddy's on this side of you and he's shouting at you to keep going, and that heart and that belief system just comes. Do you know what I mean? What else can you do? You play games. All sorts of games. Pretty much every game that is currently banned in the schoolyard is what you should be playing. Bulldog. What a game for any team sport, any combat athlete. One person in the middle, two ends, could be any distance apart, probably short is better, 20, 30 meters. And the man in the middle shouts, Bulldog! And everybody charges to try and get to the other side. Man in the middle has to catch somebody, hold on to them long enough to shout Bulldog 1, 2, 3 clearly. Yeah. And anybody that gets caught is now on. So now there's two people on. Then there might be 3 or 4 people on, until eventually you've got one guy trying to run through everybody to get to the other side. Brilliant game. Banned in schools because people got hurt, people tripping over. The way we played it back in the day, you'd actually have to, on the grass, you'd have to put somebody down and hold them on the ground for Bulldog 1, 2, 3. In the Goshin Jitsu class, we did it all sorts of ways. We played it on our hands and knees, so you'd have to turn somebody over. Yeah, that's why this tooth still wobbles nearly 30 years later. I'm not advocating that, but that's, yeah, they're rough games, but it's a rough sport. You want to develop toughness. What do you get from games like this? You get problem solving, you get agility, you got footwork. I love watching these sports coaches and their agility drills, especially now that it's become accepted that agility is a reactive attribute. doing footwork drills with change of direction is great, but that's not agility. You're not reacting to an outside stimulus. Things like two people running and the coach standing in front, pointing, and you have to run this way, or throwing a ball and you have to chase the ball. That's reactive. Bulldog, chase, TIG or tag, or whatever you want to call it, and the million variations on that are reactive. You're running ahead. Now you have to sidestep, zigzag, move around, pull out of a tackle, avoid the catch, avoid the tag. Do you know what I mean? How many attributes are getting trained in a simple schoolyard game, all of which are banned because health and fucking safety. Don't get me started on that. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a lot of facilities. You just need heart. You need willingness to go. It's attitude. Attitude is everything. Everything. Yeah, having a gym facility makes everything easier to achieve. If you're looking to build maximal strength, then yes, a barbell is king. Rehab programs work better when we've got kit like gym rings, kettlebells, angle boards, etc. But they're not 100% necessary. So much can be done with so little if you've got a bit of creativity, a bit of imagination, and you've got the right attitude and a big heart. Yeah? Doesn't have to be super scientific. It's work. First and foremost, it's work. You start with the goal, yeah, the destination, like Google Maps. Put in your destination, have your start point, plan your route, and it might give you 2 or 3 alternate routes. That's how we train people. What am I looking to achieve? I've got 30 minutes with these lads. What's the goal of that 30 minutes? What am I going to achieve by the end of that 30 minutes? How does that fit into the whole week, the whole month, the 3 months? Boom, 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 boom. One session is, I have a goal. I want to warm the guys up, and I've only got 10 minutes to do it, so let's get as much mobility, rehab, prevention type work done in the warm-up so that their hips can move, their spine can move, their feet are agile. Yeah. Then we go into our plyometric and speed work. Then we go into our power work. So we might be throwing stuff, throwing sandbags, playing races. Then we go into our strength work. So how many different push-up variations can you have sandbags on site you can lift? How many squat lunge variations can you do? There's a million. Yeah. And then you go into your cool down. Again, mobility, rehab type work. Yeah. Set it for years. You put your rehab into your warm up, you put your rehab into your cool down. Excuse me, you put your rehab into your rest periods. And that's about as much injury prevention as is possible to get. So, high effect, low tech training. It works if you want to get down and dirty. If you want to get dirt under your fingernails, it's a way of training that still exists in some of the martial arts combat sports worlds. And I do believe bringing that across into the field sports worlds, and the field sports world are a little bit spoiled because it's the best strength and conditioning resources you're looking at with all the kit, coming down from, Premier Leagues and the international rugby, looking at the athletics with their Olympic levels type, which have all come from Olympic type training, at grassroots, get dirty, yeah, get gritty, build the heart. And then when you get to these facilities where you have the squat racks and the Concept 2 kit and the fancy equipment, it's like being in a toy shop. You are already well capable of training without that kit. But when you walk in and you see all that kit, oh my God, it's like, wow, look at how much more I can do, how much better I can do it. I'm going to quote an old buddy of mine. He's a former military guy. He's a saying from training military lads, and he talks about a lot of the training, modern training, is about manning the arms rather than arming the man. His whole perspective is arm the man, the person. This is what I train. Yeah, I can train with a barbell, but I don't train squats. I do squats with a barbell to train my lower body strength and power. Yeah, kettlebell down there. How many people have you met that say, "Oh, I train kettlebells"? No, you fucking don't. Maybe if you do kettlebell sport, you can say that. You train with kettlebells. You utilize kettlebells to train your body to be strength, to develop strength, mobility, endurance. Same with TRX, same with sandbags, same with you name it. They're tools. We are tool users, that's great, but remember the idea is you train the person. The person doesn't train the equipment. The person isn't about the equipment, it's about the individual person. So when you're out and you're on your own, or it's the last 15 minutes of the hardest game of your life, you've learned to rely on yourself. If you're training a team, each individual member of the team can rely on themselves, but they know they're stronger even when they rely on each other. Martial arts, you very much rely on yourself because it's you in that fight. If you're out in the mountains, it's you on the mountain. But as a team, it's all of you. It's that little bit easier. Yeah, mentally, it's that little bit easier, which is great. But you can do it because you have relied on you in your own training. You've not relied on having the equipment, you've relied on having the attitude. And attitude is everything. All right. Seriously, Zach Evernish, look him up. Ross Enemy, look him up. Look up my stuff. Yeah, there's plenty on this channel. Go to Wild Geese Fitness Training. Look at all. There's ebooks. There's blog posts going back years. My new site, davehedges.net, is a younger site. There's not as much on it yet. It's there. The information is out there. Minimalistic, attitude first training. Honestly, it will change your life. Right, that's it for today. And I will get you to press the like and the subscribe button. Drop comments if you've got questions, if you've got comments on this video. If you want to know more, drop a comment, and then I know to do follow-up videos based on your comments. So until next time, let's get after it.